Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Tuesday, and thank you for joining me today for YouTube. So what I'd like to do today is, for our technique, is make a card using the Gilded Leafing. And I'm calling this Gold Grout. And so when you make this card, you will need the Gilded Leafing. This comes in a pot like this, and it's full of just amazing product. I would suggest that you get a container, a bigger container to put it in. And the first time I used it, I was like, I opened this up, I wasn't too careful, and gold went everywhere. So my suggestion is that you get some kind of a plastic, like a food carrier, and you would just dump this in there and then put the lid on, and then you can actually use it much better that way. So this is $9, and it'll last you a long time because there's a lot in here when you open it up. It's amazing. So let's get started today. I'm going to show you the technique, and I'm going to be using adhesive sheets. And the reason is because that gold leafing needs something to stick to. And you can use heat and stick powder, you can use glue, but I found adhesive sheets is just so easy. So let's get started. Okay, so I am going to use adhesive sheets. I have a 3 3/4 piece of cardstock by 5 and the same size of adhesive sheets. So you want to carefully adhere this to your cardstock. Everything is sticky today, so this will be interesting to see if I can get this lined up. Okay, now you want to burnish that into the cardstock. So just take your bone folder or whatever you use to fold your cards, just burnish that into the cardstock, okay? And then you want to peel off the backing, and the easiest way is just to take your pick tool, start on the corner, pull that up. Takes a second to find the edge. Okay, so pull that up. Make sure I don't want to pull up the cardstock. I just want to pull up this transfer sheet. Man, I really lined it up perfectly. I can't find it. I'll just use my fingernails. That might be easier. Yeah, that works better. Okay, so now you're just going to pull that away. Try not to touch the cardstock, okay, because that's what's going to stick everything down. Now I'm going to use scraps of 1-inch designer series paper, and these were actually from the hand pinned designer series pack. And so I have lots of pieces here, little pieces, big pieces. And this is from another card I made. So let's get started and just start applying this down. I'm going to start right here on the corner. And I'm just going to stick it down like that. Okay, so everything's going to stick to that now, so makes it so easy. Okay, now I'm going to use some, this will work. Use a piece of, I'm going to make the gap so you can see how I'm making the gap. It's probably about 1/4 inch so that the grout actually is wide enough that it will collect the gold leafing. And I don't want to make it too thin. I'm trying to make them all the same. That's interesting, right? It's hard to do. Easy to say, but hard to do. Okay, liking that. Liking this one. It's pretty forgiving if you aren't perfect. It's pretty forgiving. Okay, and then here, I think I will use this one right here. This one, I'm going to try this a little bit on an angle. So I'm going to trim that down and put that right there. Okay, looking good. This one here. Okay. Be nice if that would fit, but I don't think it's going to, so just make this one fit there. And then here we are going to use this piece, I think. And I think I need a pink piece. That would be really awesome if I could fit that in there. Oh, yes, it will. Okay, so I have all of the cardstock covered now, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to cut away all these extra pieces. And I can make another card maybe if I have enough left over, or I'm sure I have other scraps I can use, right? My scissors are getting sticky for some reason. Must be touching the adhesive. So I'm trying not to touch the grout. I want to leave that sticky for my gold leafing. Okay, one more side to do. Okay, yay. Okay, that's all finished. And now I have this left. Okay, so now it's time to do the grout. And as I told you, it's best to put this in a container, which is what I did. I actually found a container that has the lid attached and stays attached, which is awesome. So I'm just going to gently open it. If you go too crazy, this could fly out, and that's not what you want to happen. And then I'm just going to take my Gilded Leafing and rub it into the adhesive. And you don't have to be too careful because you're going to knock this off later. So just go ahead and make sure it's sticking. Once it sticks, you can move on. It is a little messy, so if you are opposed to making a little mess on your fingers, it comes right off, so it's not a big deal. Oh, it's so fun. Actually, it's so fun. It is a rewarding technique because you can see the progress as you go, and it's like, oh, this is going to be so gorgeous. So you want to kind of rub it into the grout. And then what I have is a sponge. I have like a quarter piece of my old sponge that I'm going to use to knock away, that I use just for this. I wouldn't suggest using the sponge for anything else once you've put it in the gold leafing, because even though you can't see the gold on there, it is in the sponge and it will transfer to your next project. So I suggest keeping the sponge separate and using it only for this. Okay, so fortunately I have this lid, which I love. And I have my little sponge. And so now what I'm going to do is just rub that. So now you can see the progress. And it's, people will ask me, why would I use that over gold embossing powder? It has a completely different look from gold embossing powder. It's actually gold leafing, so it's real gold, and it's actually brighter. I love embossing. Okay, so heat embossing. But this is, I have to say, rewarding because it's so gorgeous. Now, you will see there's little areas where I probably either touched with my finger. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little glue. Just a little tiny bit of glue. And you have to kind of be careful because you don't want it to, wherever it sticks is where it's going to. Okay. All right, so those are my two areas. I think that I had a little gap. Okay, now I'll take my gold leafing and rub it into those areas. See if that catches. It's still a little wet, so I don't know if it's going to work. Probably would have left it a little sticky. Would have been better, but I think it's fine. Actually, I think it's working fine. See? So it did catch there where I had put the glue. Oh yeah. Perfect. But it's also sticking to my fingers, which is kind of comical because I have a little glue on my fingers. Okay, so time to put this back in here. So see, I have a little gold on my fingers, but it'll come off when I wash them. Okay, so I have a little bit of leaf gold on my table, which is not too bad. Close this gently. Yay. And I'm going to take this and just kind of dump that in the trash. Okay, all right. So now we have that, and I love it. And now I'm just going to mount this on a piece of cardstock. So this is Highland Heather cardstock, and this is actually 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and then I have a piece of basic white as my card base, and I have scored it because this is the thick cardstock. So I scored that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my white base. I really like a white card base. It makes it so easy to work with the inside. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Now I'm going to use a hand pen petal stamp that says, "Feel Better Friend." So I have this card I'm making for a girlfriend who hasn't really been feeling great. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And I'm going to punch that out with the double oval punch. I love this punch. Absolutely love it because you have the 2 punches. And so I'm going to use the Highland Heather, and I'm going to punch out the layered piece. Absolutely love this punch. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on there and pop this up. I don't think the card needs anything else. I was thinking about ribbon, but I don't think it needs anything because it's just so awesome. Okay. And I think I'm just going to put that right in the center. So there's our, I'm calling it Gold Grout. And I'm hoping that we come out with some more of this gilded leafing. I would love to see some silver or some other colors. Wouldn't that be awesome? So there's our card today, and I hope you're having a great week. May you be blessed today and be a blessing to someone. And I'll see you on Friday. Thanks so much. Bye.